to the final day of the Razor King of the Beta tournament with QXC versus Into the Rainbow and Idra versus the Little One. And now we have a slight bonus event coming up in just a minute. Right now we are going to do Tester versus HuK, The Lost Chronicles. So I wanted to let you know that for every single game in this series, obviously since the beta is down, I am not playing this on the Starcraft 2 beta, but in every single folder, I have 3 games labeled. So when I did HuK against Tester, the first 2 games, Tester won, and I said, aha, looks like Tester has won 2-0. Apparently someone just mislabeled those games, and the third game was actually one that HuK defeated Tester in. So of course, considering that HuK is the beastliest of American Protosses, we are going to honor him by displaying Game 3 between Tester and HuK. And I know I've spoiled the results, but you know what? This is Tester vs. HuK, The Lost Chronicles, and everything is a mystery. So we'll be going directly into Game 3 between Tester against HuK. Tester currently up 2-0. Surprise as to what the results are going to be, but we are going to see a little bit of Protoss versus Protoss action until we get to the final game of Idra versus the Little One in just a moment. The winner of Idra versus the Little One will be at the Final 4 broadcast live at the Day 9 countdown party for StarCraft 2. So we are loading up this game. Right now we have Tester spawning in the left position as the red Protoss, and in the bottom we have HuK as the green Protoss. Now once again we see HuK doing his absolute epilepsy of clicking, trying to figure out where to rally, and apparently he just wants to rally everywhere. And it's actually not a Nexus rallying, it's just a clock that's spinning very, very, very fast. So either way, we have Tester. I'm not going to be doing any sort of cheese at this point. Everything is stayed inside the mains, both players just playing typically. There's HuK doing his trademark scout out towards the center of the map. Always wants to get that scout out early, and he's one of the few players who chrono boosts his probes non-stop back-to-back to the point where his gateway and assimilator is delayed, but of course he wants to make up for that lost economy from this early scout probe. Tester now finishing his pylon, chrono boosting, and he's going to be building a gateway in just a moment. Always a little bit of debate as to when to throw down that gateway timing, but I can say that if you get those early gateways, you have some very nice stalker pushes despite a weak economy, and those later gateways get you kind of delayed everything, but you always have enough money to make those extra gates to be aggressive. So here is the trademark constant chrono boost, and as you can see, making up to the 14th probe for the slightly later gateway than the ordinary Protoss, but HuK is no ordinary Protoss. As we can see, checking, look at this, getting right by that Xel'Naga watchtower, and see, that is the advantage of that little juke that HuK does, that nice little move, gets to see that Tester does have that scout probe sending out. Very, very nice timing. Getting the gas for both players. I would say that there's a lot of debate right now as to what the correct mid-game is in this matchup. Most players are going for a lot of one-basing strategies. We've seen very little early expanding. Tester and another Protoss player named Adele, who I'm familiar with, is one of the few Protosses who I've really seen do a regular job of expanding very, very early. Most of the time, players are staying one-based, going Colossus, getting the Immortals, going for the Immortal drops. Here's Tester with his trademark Chrono Boost save. There is the core going down. HuK trying to zap away at this pylon, but he will be repelled by Tester's probe. HuK also getting scouted himself, throwing down his cybernetics core, and of course the usual time for the second geyser, getting that right after the assimilator happens. And look at HuK chrono boosting those probes non-stop. At the unit counting station we can see HuK is just marginally ahead of his opponent. And again, it looks like HuK, going for the gas steal. That is so annoying. That second gas is absolutely pivotal to early game strategy. You need that to be able to tech properly, and it looks like Tester's just going to be throwing down some extra gateways. This is betraying his build a little bit. Most players would want to chrono boost a stalker first to kill off that probe before revealing these 2 gateways, but it looks like Tester instead favoring that chrono boost on the warp gate. And here's Tester doing a similar build to game 1 in Tester against HuK on Metalopolis, the giant pylon with Zealot warp gate bust, and it looks like Tester just abandoning anything. He's stopped making probes completely. He's spending all his chrono boost on the warp gate upgrade. There are the 3 gateways going down, and it clearly looks like HuK is going to be a little bit more prepared than last time. He is chrono boosting warp gate himself. Here comes a stalker. Again, if you can get enough stalkers against those early zealots, you can micro them properly, and this one stalker is going to be in for a lot of trouble as there are these 3 pylons up. There is a 4th gateway going down for HuK. Tester looks like he hasn't even gotten a 4th gateway himself, is instead continuing to chrono boost this one warp gate and is saving up perhaps for stalkers or zealots. Either way, he is going all out, all in. That one gas steal by HuK really threw Tester off his game when Tester was looking exactly like a very, very normal opening. But here comes the big push. More chrono boosting by HuK on that warp gate. Wants to make sure he can stay up with his opponent. Only one more Stalker en route for HuK. He wants to save up for the chrono boost, and it looks like warp gates are just now finishing for Tester. Tester going to try to pop in to the back of HuK's base. Has pylons everywhere, and it looks like Stalker's being warped in, not Zealots. Going to try to overrun his opponent with Stalker count. There's only 3 Stalkers out for HuK right now, and 3 Stalkers and a Zealot for Tester. So Tester going to be able to do some good damage if he can get up in the front. Trying to pull back. Great probe micro there by HuK, staying cool. Here comes his own set of 4 warp gates, and there is a whole slew of Stalkers warping in for HuK, who needs to be careful not to forget to mine more gas. Tester getting repelled relatively easily. Here comes more Stalkers getting warped in, but oh, that extra damage they take getting warped in is being a big pain in the butt for Tester, and it looks like HuK will be able to clean this up relatively easily with nice control, staying calm, and good game. As you might imagine, ladies and gentlemen, that was Tester vs. HuK, The Lost Chronicles, where we got the chance to see that, in fact, HuK was able to take a game off every single player he played against in this tournament, Idra, the Little One, and Tester. He had very long games in his series against those 3, so despite the fact that he has been eliminated from the tournament, excellent showing from HuK, and I'm glad to have brought you this game from the past, from day 4 of the Razor King of the Beta tournament. So, with that in mind, it's time for the highlight match of the day, Idra versus the Little One. Before we go into that, once again, big thanks to Razer for sponsoring this tournament. Their new line of mouse, keyboard, and headset is amazing and integrates with Starcraft 2. Check it out at www.razorzone.com. The name of the mouse is the Spectre. So, we will be going into into Series 2 in just a moment.